Burning Man is twice the density of London, which probably makes it one of the most densest places on the planet.
Black Rock City has no hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts, inns, boarding houses, lodges. In fact, no accommodations of any kind, except what you bring with you. Most of the inhabitants live in small villages comprised of theme camps, where its inhabitants share common interest. They're not like tribes in the traditional sense, related by common bloodlines. They are new tribalism, often connected together by email and blogs, often meeting for the first time in a dusty campment at Black Rock City. An example of one such tribal camp is Costume Cult, whose inhabitants come mostly from New York City and share a common passion for costumes and mission to supply unconventional clothing to the inhabitants of Black Rock City. During the day, Electric Bubble invites passers-by into the costume camp.
Be more beautiful by walking out of this Golden Dome. We are Costume Cult, all the way from New York City, making the playa beautiful.
The founder of the camp, Costume Jim, is in the habit of walking around inside giant heads, and there's Mobius, who drives a tricked-out bike and always has a parking space reserved for him in front of the camp.
I got VIP parking.
The camp consists of tents and RVs located around a geodesic dome.
Bring me your photos, come get a Polaroid, and put your name on it with a Sharpie, and that'll be that.
Wearing is not a costume. This is pedestrian wear. This is the playa. Let your inner fear out. Come on and try, get a costume. You want my pants? That's what they all say. Take a number.
Providing clothing at Burning Man, where many of its citizens and potential customers walk around in their birthday suits, can be a daunting task at times.
A lot of times naked people come into our dome and all they want is a hat. So we've got those too.
Do you have any problem with the clothing optional people?
No, because they're usually very good-spirited people, and people that are that free are usually fun to joke with and fun to, adorn,
So they don't resist you that much?
They don't resist. We, as they walk by, the running joke this year was, is a penis a costume? We kept saying that over and over, and everybody would say yes, yes, yes. So they totally believed that, when they were naked, they were in costume too, and we honor that. But we do like to throw a little accessory on them just for fun.
The themes of the theme camps are sometimes not readily apparent. This camp features 5 Walmart dining table chairs adorned with insect masks and a recording of the 9/11 report playing in the background. What does it mean? Other camps are put-ons dedicated to imaginative phobias such as the Fear No Martini.
We are trying to conquer this fear by offering our very delicious and high-quality vodka and gin martinis out here on the playa. We take this problem very seriously, and we'll be glad to do whatever we can to relieve this suffering worldwide.
Some camps seem like jokes, like this embassy for extraterrestrials. I'm just curious, what type of extraterrestrial embassy is this? Martians, perhaps?
No, there's no Martian ambassador. It's the Elohim. We're waiting for the return of the Elohim, who are going to come here in about 2025, and we're building them an embassy, and they're going to love it, and we just can't wait to welcome them. They created all life on this planet, including every animal and every being in their image, all humans in their image, and so we're going to welcome them back when we have the technology to accept them and the love, and there's no more hate on this planet. They're going to come back and they're going to embrace us, and they're our fathers.
So this is not a joke, it's serious?
It's serious, absolutely.
If you'd like to have a walk through our camp, you're more than welcome to.
Kind of red, black. I am a flatterer. I'm a professional flatterer. I'm here today at Flattery Camp, flattering those who deserve to be flattered because they're wonderful, amazing people.
Who doesn't like compliments?
You. I got the sequin.
I've had enough. That's my take of vitamins.
Okay. And you are a lovely flower upon the playa. The dust does not diminish your beauty.
Yes, she is.
Okay, I'm getting tired of all this flattering.
I love your ensemble. It all matches very well. Kind of red, black.
Matches your tattoo as well.
You may happen upon a death camp for Barbie dolls. What exactly is this all about, Barbie Death Camp?
It's just sort of one of the ironic themes of Burning Man. I think the creators of Barbie Death Camp were sort of disgusted with the image of Barbie and all the sort of materialistic things that go with it. So they decided to take that idea to the next step and slay all Barbies.
It's not uncommon to find confessionals along the side of the road.
Some of the things people talk about are stuff that is just overwhelming. I can't even really read it because it's like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody just put that in this book.
These are some of the comments we have in the My Secret Crush book. I have a brokeback crush on a married man with 2 kids, but he's hot, 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 and the best sex ever. So I have a secret crush on myself. Sometimes I can't tell if I like me back or not. I run hot and cold on me. I'm getting ready to tell myself I've secretly fallen in love with myself and find out once and for all whether that love is required.
I ran across a camp of frat boys with a toga party theme, which wouldn't be out of place in spring break. Nor would this water slide be out of place in spring break.
All right, baby, don't make it fun.
Each day at a camp called Deep End, there is a rave with hundreds of people dancing in the over 100-degree heat. Of Black Rock City aged, Black Rock City established camps such as Kidsville, a camp for kids. One wouldn't think of a place like Burning Man as being suitable for children, but actually there are quite a number of families and an estimated population of over 1,000 children.
I personally wouldn't bring an infant. Lots of people do and they like it. It's a lot of work. Then you don't really get to be able to go out. I mean, keeping them out of the dust, their little lungs, I would rather not have them in it. But for me, I didn't put in a whole lot of time on thinking about it. I wanted to come. I knew there was a Kidsville. I knew people who had been, and I couldn't leave him anywhere because I'm his mother. He has nowhere else to go. And it's been an awesome experience.
This is a little central zone where families get together, but there's lots of other kids outside of here.
As far as sex camp being next to crayon camp, well, you just zone.
Yeah.
That's simple.
It's the response of any responsible
Yeah.
city.
You don't put the porn parlor across from the school. That's tacky. It's wrong. So that we did that. Kidsville organically sprang up. People are required to camp with their families at Kidsville. At one point, I was in the middle of this debate with pressure from the rural county to make it adults only, and pressure from a minority sector of our own community who was under the impression this was an adults only condo. And how can you have a community if you don't represent generational diversity? And, I mean, that's only in America. Do we do that? We have been segregated by age because that's the nature of the mass market and niche marketing, and it's crippling. It's horrible. It's disgusting. My camp has 4 generations, and we mean to keep it that way. If we're earnest about culture, then that's the way it is, and that's the way it will stay. And we have found means to deal with that. And If new problems come up, then we'll deal with them. But children, it's been a safe environment for children.
How tall are you?
You can ask me, but you'd have to measure me to find out. I don't know.
I know, I think these are like 3 feet. 3 feet extra on top of what I am normally.
How tall are you?
How tall am I? I'm only little.
I found myself wandering in the Stilt District, where everyone is over 8 feet tall.
Center Camp Ho! Who are you going to ho?
At the high bar, I feared discrimination because of my height.
Tall enough to reach. Tall enough to reach.
We do not discriminate against the short, against the legless, stiltless, tiny ones.
At the alternative energy camp, I got some tips on lowering my utility bill.
In this village we have 80 different camps, each one of them independent. Some of them have solar panels like this one here. Some people have wind generators like the one way over there. And everyone has blinky light. We're already talking about using different systems for powering center camp, different systems. Some of the generators are biodiesel. So they're using biodiesel for some of the generators. One of the stages at center camp, the speaking stage, is run full solar. So it's a gradual process. Think about how are the ways to make this work. There are always ways to make it work, but you have to find them and make sense out of them. Well, more expensive once, but if you have to use it for 10 years, it becomes less expensive. And, if all of a sudden diesel's not available or gasoline's not available or the price goes up to $5 a gallon, believe me, they'll be interested in solar panels. Things change.
One of the rules, tenets we laid down for teen camps at the very beginning is that they have to be open to the public. They have to be accessible. They've got to be a gift to the city itself. But then, of course, the skill is to demarcate the area. This is in your camp, so the skill is to, and there are all kinds of subtle and wonderful ways you can do this. In our camp, we have a system of we have a court that narrows down to a narrow gateway, and then that narrow, and at a certain point it becomes clear to anyone that, oh, I'm entering a private, more private place, a family place, but we put things out in the front that for the public to interact with. It works beautifully. So people, yeah, I think that's why they do that. They're intent on establishing an intermediate zone.
A group of people here is probably 2 or 3 standard deviations off the mean. This is a very special group of people. Not everybody and his brother comes rolling in here.
Probably nothing is more controversial at Burning Man than the Thunderdome, modeled after the futuristic Bloodsport. It's a production of the Death Guild camp, run by a well-established goth club in San Francisco. People hang off the Thunderdome to watch duos hanging from bungees fighting with foam rods. People can get hurt, mostly from all the kicking that occurs more than anything else. An ambulance is always parked a few feet away, just in case. It states on the back of every ticket sold at Burning Man that the organizers are not responsible for any death or injury incurred during the event. Now I know why.